Hey y'all, so I know it's been a while. I think I was waiting until I got like my stuff together, but that wasn't gonna happen like in a while or like never. So here I am. I decided let me just try to get on camera, um, and we can just talk and whatnot. I don't have any makeup on. I'm barefaced. I don't really wear makeup, but still, you can definitely see the pores right now, but it's fine. I think I care, but I'm kind of too tired to fully care. Who knows? I might regret this in the morning. But yeah, I just wanted to talk while I do my homework. Someone asked me for help for their homework in class, and it's a class I'm passing in. I wasn't last semester, but when I took it twice, it's a class I'm passing in now. So, because I don't wanna owe that money. So I've been getting into it. So I'm about to try to email them these reports. But anyways, like the title of the video is called, I think I just wanted to talk about and discuss, the thought of having children. I am 26 now. And it's something I think I really do need to seriously think about whether I want to or not. But looking on the vlogs, looking on the stuff that's been happening with, Halle Bailey, DDG, or even like the couples you kind of idolize, like Tiana Taylor and everything like that. I'm just not feeling it even more. I wasn't feeling it before, like definitely when I was in college. I'm in grad school now, but I don't know. When I wasn't feeling it back then, it was more so due to like trauma and the fear of like putting my trauma on my own kids and whatnot. And I was kind of scared of kids a bit because they would trigger me. But now I've like worked as a teacher and substitute temporarily, and work with different grades. I'm not as scared before, and I still get triggered sometimes, but I'm learning better to cope and like regulate it, and I realize I really do I genuinely appreciate my relationships with kids, but the question comes with, do I want to have them, for the future? Right now, I'm not ready to have any children, like, whatsoever, at all. But I know the conversations have already been coming up, when you talk about it with family and stuff like that. And it's something I do need to seriously consider more, because I'm about to get more up in age and whatnot. So I'm just trying to figure that out. And let me know if you're still debating on it or not, because it's an interesting issue. Like if you have kids, I guess the pros is that you build a relationship with the child and you're connected to them in a way that you're not really connected to any other human being, I'm trying to think of more pros. I don't know, I feel like if you ask most parents, they're like it's just work. It's just I love a labor, at the end of the day. And I feel like their relationship or taking care of them is like the sole reason why people do it. So because most reasons there's maybe I already answered my question, because trying to come up with the good reasons is like it's kind of difficult for me, but I don't know, I've become open to it. I'm becoming more open to it. I wasn't before because I was like, one, I just, I used to have more of a temper and I'd be worried about going off on kids. You know, I've gone to therapy and through teaching, even though sometimes I would have my days, I've learned a lot more patience because those kids be wildin', bruh. Like they be wildin' sometimes, like, and they be ready to fight you, and you low key be wanting to fight, but then you have to remember they're a child, and you're like, now I don't say I never really wanted to fight, but I think my anger has gotten pushed to that extent where I was like, if I gotta defend myself, I gotta defend myself. If you put your hands on me, but it never went to that. Cause I'll just be honest with them. I'll be like, if you hit Miss Elliott, she's not gonna react like one of your friends or whatever. Like, you hit Miss Elliott, she has PTSD. She's gonna see you as a grown man attacking her. And the PTSD thing is like another thing why I was worried about having kids, like especially with like things like I'm on YouTube, so I don't know if I can say the word, but like SA, CSA, childhood SA, like, or molestation and stuff. It's like I can have a kid, but like one wrong move, either dating the wrong person, picking the wrong person, having them babysat by the wrong person, and it could significantly impact their lives forever. And that really just, my computer's frozen. So you're like, why is she looking at her computer? Nothing's happening. That's why. But yeah, like you have them watched by one wrong person, and all of a sudden their whole life is impacted for the rest of their lives. You know, they end up developing PTSD, or, you know, they end up being like more active when they're younger and whatnot, or less active, you know, in my case and whatnot. And it's scary to think about. And then knowing what's happening in the world with politics and wars and whatnot, I mean, definitely right now, not in this political climate, I don't think I'd want to try to have a child at all. I mean, I can't, I'm not with anybody either. Although I could go down to like, you know, like a donation bank or something one day, because I might do that. I don't really, because another difficult thing with having children, I don't really connect with people like that on like an easy level. I'm very like, it's hard for me to have a connection, and that's why it's hard for me to break off certain connections, even when the guy is toxic, because I'm like, oh, I rarely feel this, I don't want to let it go, and I have to let it go, because if I don't, I'll just repeat some of the same cycles I've been trying to avoid. And that's also the harsh reality. If I have a kid, like, I definitely really just, I'd have to go into like an extreme process of like vetting whoever I have a child with. And even then, it's not guaranteed that they're gonna be a good person. Or if I decide to have a child on my own, or if I end up single after having a child with a man, I'm just not gonna date at all, because it's stressful trying to do that, because you know, oh, I thought something moved behind me. God. Okay. But yeah, because it's like, if I do date while I have a child, there's a lot of men who target women with children, especially if those women are unstable or, you know, seeking validation and whatnot, and they target them to like try to get in there real quick. And prey not only just on them, but on their, daughters and whatnot. And that's been a hard lesson to learn as an adult, is realizing, like, if you get in a relationship with someone who's toxic, not only are they going to be toxic to you, they're going to be toxic to your children too. Because I think a lot of people think, oh, he's abusing me, he's not going to abuse, anybody else. But that's not true. 9 times out of 10, if he's abusing you, it's going to get to the children somehow, So, that's the whole difficulty. And men, the way they're socialized, I feel like a lot of them were, and I understand it's not all men, and this is a generalization, and part of it does come from trauma, but I feel like men are kind of socialized to prey on women in a way, and then even the ones who aren't, they're socialized to be very traditional, I think, and uphold kind of like a traditional heteronormative like relationship. And the thing is, like, I'm coming into more realization that I'm queer, and I don't really go by the gender binary that much. Like, I'm very feminine and masculine. I don't know if it's to the point that I'm non-binary as of yet, but I know if I'm in a relationship, and it was hard for me to accept this, but I wouldn't be happy in a traditional relationship where it's a woman who's at home and the man's working all the time. I wouldn't be happy in that context, because my dad, he's even kind of traditional, which can be very like good thing and whatnot, but I think sometimes we would butt heads at times because the expectations would get mixed up, or I would be offended by certain things and stuff, and I just wasn't with it. But I'm not gonna get into that. Obviously, we've had our little spats or whatever. He's still a great father, I'm not trying to like start anything. It was just an example that came up. But yeah, I'm like, that's why I'm like, if I have kids, I'm not gonna really want to raise them in a traditional environment, but I have to figure out how not traditional that's gonna be. What's that gonna look like? And it's kind of hard right now because I'm still learning myself, still learning who I am, who I want to be. This is bothering me. It is what it is. This is my neck tire. But, well, I had it in like big twists earlier. But, yeah, because if I have kids, I'm not going to want to raise them traditionally. I think I'm going to be very much hardcore on rearing. And I think I'll be very protective. And being a teacher, I learned that students and kids, even if they don't say so, they really do love structure and they do need structure. So I know I would have them on some type of routine, but I also have to discipline myself in order to get that routine. And I have to learn to cook more, which is a battle, because I guess it's the executive dysfunction of my ADHD. All the steps it takes to cook a meal, I get very frustrated. And then I have a particular taste towards processed food, which I found out can be like a neurodivergent thing, or like a spectrum thing too. I like my food to taste the same way every time, and with cooking you can't always control the outcome, and it's very frustrating to me at times. It's still worth it because it's healthier, and it's good for you, but I do feel insecure about the fact that I'm not at that level, Although one solution would be I get rich and I just pay for a cook, a chef. Because I'm not gonna lie, I would do that. You can judge me, but I would do that just to avoid it. But no, I'm still gonna learn because this is a survival skill. And I think I didn't want to learn when I was younger because it was like people would sometimes word it as you need to do this for your husband and stuff like that. And I wasn't effing with that. I didn't like that at all. So that's one thing. If I do have kids, I'm gonna just say it's a basic necessity for survival. And if they have a hard time with it, I'll just be patient. But that's also another thing. If they have a hard time with it because they're neurodivergent, that's a possibility because neurodivergent runs my family all the time. And if I have kids, I can't just, you can't just prepare for the expectation of having a kid who is neurotypical or who doesn't have learning disabilities or who isn't disabled and whatnot. You also have to be open and ready to having a kid who could be disabled, who you're going to have to attend to 100% of the time. And I think a lot of people don't think about that when they've had kids. Like when I worked in classrooms with kids with physical or intellectual disabilities, it was a lot sometimes because I don't, and not all parents can expect that. Sometimes things happen and there's accidents. But I think the world would be a better place if, when we're thinking about having children, we prepare for like all avenues. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. We can't do that all the time. That's not reality all the time. But as I get older and I work with more kids, that's just something I think about. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to have a kid because I'm like, working with a kid who has a disability is like a lot of work. And if I'm not ready for that, I don't know if I should be ready to pursue the aspect of having a child too, So it's just something I think about, and I keep forgetting I'm supposed to be turning to this assignment and whatnot. But yeah, it's something I'm thinking about a lot, and I don't know. Sometimes I worry about it because, like people have said, your time clock, whatever. Oop, my battery. But your time clock or whatever is supposed to run up when you're 35. And sometimes people say that I get angry because I'm like, who are you to monitor my womb, okay? My ovarian clock, okay? I decide when I have a kid. You better clock that. But honestly, it is something to think about because when you're over 35, it's considered a geriatric pregnancy. And, and that would suck if, like, finally realize I want to have kids. But, and I'm older, but I'm like, I'd rather be older than, like, have them now. And I rushed it and I had it with somebody who wasn't prepared to be a father either, and I wasn't prepared to be a mother, because it's just a recipe for regret. And I know I am capable of regretting having a child, and I don't want to put them in that situation at all, or put myself in a situation where I gotta eat that thing. And I'm pro-choice. I'm not trying to be love about it because it is a really like difficult thing. Cause like sometimes I'm like, as dark as it sounds, sometimes I'm like, if I wasn't here or if I think situations for certain people would have been easier, and I'm understanding of that fact. So, and I don't know, maybe this feeling also came with the fact that around high school, I wanted to exit. So I was just like thinking like, why didn't they? But, now it's more so just coming from my understanding of like, because, sometimes people ask pro-choice people, well, what if they did that to you? I think my soul would have understood it. I don't think I would have held it against them, I think I would have understood why. Especially if some people could end up in a better situation mentally or economically, or, just emotionally. Because it's like when you grow up as a kid, you feel that. You feel that stuff. So always think about that too before you have a child. Sometimes the kid can sense if, or sometimes not sense, because, obviously we all love our children that we're growing up with, but a kid can sense if they're like raised in a messy situation. I don't know if that's the right terminology either, because I don't want to say like I blame my parents for being born. I don't know. I think you guys get what I'm saying though. So I just try to keep that in mind. And maybe I'm overthinking it. Well, no, it's a child. It's a whole life. I don't think you can overthink it enough, But talking right now, I think I just kind of realized most things, I think the cons to me are always going to outweigh the pros, So right now, I don't think I'm going to have any. In the future, that might change just from like my emotions. But I'm gonna keep it in mind. I don't think I'm gonna do anything until I'm like really ready and really sure. And yeah, but let me know what are you guys' thoughts on having children and being childless. And especially like as a Black woman too, because we're kind of stereotyped to be mother-like figures or nurturing and stuff like that. Or even like in schools, I've noticed a lot of Black women are or Black women tend to seem to come off as more people expect them to be more mean. And I was wondering why until like I worked in the school and I realized some of these kids, they really don't want to listen to you because they don't see you as an authority figure. Because, in my opinion, it feels like because you're Black, and because of that, they don't want to listen or take you seriously. So you have to get very, very stern, very mean, and like overly serious to compensate. And it really does suck. But yeah, even in the teaching role, I was kind of assumed to be like more maternal than I am. And people had an expectation, some of them did, that I was looking for like a husband and kids and stuff like that. And I'm not really for it right now. I'm tired. I'm already tired of taking care of myself. So, I mean, if I do have a kid, I welcome them here though. And I hope I take good care of them. But, yeah, but I hope it was the right person too, not the wrong person. Because that's a huge factor in it. And like, for example, look at the Halle and DDG situation. And like maybe Halle could be toxic behind the scenes, but I don't know. I just feel like him and her are unequally yoked. And I'm glad he's active in his child's life, but doesn't mean he's necessarily the best partner for her to have a kid with, or for him to have a kid. And he puts his kid out there like on streaming a lot. And I don't think I could do that because there's a lot of, well, I definitely share it on like social media page to be like fun and goofy and stuff. I don't think I'd make him a source of income. That's what I'm saying. Because making a child a source of income, that's a lot. So yeah, but let me know your thoughts. There's just a talk. I barely did anything on the computer, so it is what it is. I'll try to just come out and make more videos. Let me know if you guys like the discussion format or if you want me to try something different. So thank you for tuning in and have a good day. Bye.